This video is sponsored by and available on ProtoPlay, an alternative video hosting platform focusing on creative freedom for both content creators and viewers alike. Check it out with the link in the description below, or feel free to grab the app found on Apple and Android devices. What's good, everybody, and welcome back to our latest episode of Combat Tips. In today's tutorial, we're going to be covering the Naknada debt hunter known as Kollector. As with all of these tutorials, if there's anything in particular you've come here to learn today, feel free to hop on down below to either the description, the timeline, or the comments where you can find timestamps that will let you skip to anything I feature in today's video. Should any of the inputs I say today not entirely make sense to your particular controller, feel free to use this conversion guide right here, and that should allow you to take anything I say in today's video and convert it onto any platform currently hosting Mortal Kombat 11. As some of you should expect by now, here we are over on the cosmetic screen, and that is to show you that as of this video's release date, I currently have all 25 out of 25 finishers for Kollector, which means today's tutorial is going to be featuring 11 different brutalities. Now, I of course always start off with the Classic, but again, as I mentioned earlier, if there's any particular brutality you want to skip to, feel free to refer to the timestamps below, and they of course should get you where you gotta go. Let's get started. As I said, kicking it off with the Classic, let's get into it. So for this particular brutality, you want to make sure that you do not block an attack during the final round. And to clarify, the final round is either going to be rounds 2 or 3, whichever round you as a player are going to be victorious on. Alright? From there, all you got to do when it comes time is make sure you finish your opponent with an uppercut, and while that's happening, hold either Y or triangle on your respective controller. So an uppercut, folks, down Y or down triangle, and it should look just like that. Now, something I like to clarify with this particular brutality is boom. As you can see here, I'm on round 2 and I'm hitting the block button. Now, you might think this would forfeit the brutality. That is not quite true. You only forfeit the brutality by blocking if you take damage while doing so. Alright, so try not to block at all, but if you happen to be reflexive like me and hit this button sometimes, it's alright so long as you boom, take your finger off, and make sure you don't take damage while blocking. So that's all there is to this one, folks. Remember, you want to make sure not to block any damage on your final round, and then when you're ready, finish your opponent with an uppercut while holding Y or triangle on your respective controller. And there it is, folks. Easy. So next up we have the Shaken brutality. Now for this one in particular, you're going to want to finish your opponent with the taxed combo, and while that's happening, hold down. So for the taxed combo, it's going to be forward Y, and then X and A at the same time, or forward triangle, and then square and X at the same time, and it should look oof, just like that. If it's easier, you can replace X and A or square and X with the L1 button or left button, depending on your controller, of course. And as you can see, boom, it'll work just the same with one less button being required. So that's all there is to this one, folks. Just finish your opponent with that taxed combo and make sure to hold down after you've picked up the opponent. Let's go for it. Holding down. Oh, beautiful. I mean, I like this one a lot. It's really unique, and I'm always a fan of when they kind of take the combos and weave them into the actual destruction of the character with these brutalities, so I think this was a great way to kind of formulate that particular combo into a finishing move. Next up, we have the Dark Magic brutality. Now for this one in particular, straight out of the gate, you want to make sure that you get the first hit in the match. If you don't, you unfortunately will forfeit the opportunity to do this brutality, but should you get that first hit, next, all you'll have to focus on is making sure that your final hit comes from the chaotic magic combo while holding forward. So again, we have to get the first hit in this match. Doesn't matter how you do it, but just to show you how you can confirm that, boom. As you can see right there, we just got first hit props. If you see that on your side of the screen, you're good to go in terms of getting the first hit in the match. Our next focus will be that chaotic magic combo, and that's going to be back X and then Y, or back square and then triangle, and it should look just like that. So that should cover all the bases with this particular brutality, folks. Remember, just get that first hit in the match, and then when it comes down to it, finish your opponent with the chaotic magic combo while holding forward. Let's go for it. Woo! Good and crispy. Again, another really cool use of a combo as well as the Kollector's unique abilities. I like this one. Next up, we have the hole-in-one brutality. Now for this one in particular, you're going to have to finish your opponent with the demonic mace at close range and with it fully charged upon impact. Alright, so let's go ahead and show you what this all looks like right now. So on its own, the demonic mace is going to be back forward Y or back forward triangle, and it should look pop. Just like that. As was suggested, of course, we're going to want to be using the fully charged version of this, and to do that, simply all you have to do is hold either Y or triangle as you set up this move, so back forward Y or back forward triangle, and just hold again Y or triangle, and it should look boom, just like that. That about covers it all for this particular brutality, folks. Remember, they want you to be at close range, and from my experience, that seems to be right up against the opponent if you can manage that. From there, remember, just finish them with the fully charged demonic mace, and it should look just like that. Oof. Even a couple seconds left to, unfortunately, have to endure all that pain too. Rough. Next up, we have the empty core brutality. Now for this one, you will have to, at any point throughout the match, make sure to use one stage interactable. Does not matter if that is a wall you're jumping off of or a weapon to hit the opponent. Just make sure you use at least one, and then once that's all good to go, you want to finish the opponent with the Play for Souls combo. So the Play for Souls combo is going to be Y and then X and A at the same time, and then B, or triangle, square and X at the same time, and then circle. And it should look just like that. As suggested with an earlier brutality, if you want, you can replace square and X or X and A with the L1 or left button, and as you can see, we should get the same combo. As for our interactable, simply go around your stage and look under your health bar for that right button or R1 prompt so that you can use, boom, any interactable. Again, it does not seem to matter what kind it is as long as it is used. So that's it for this one, folks. Just use one stage interactable at any point throughout the match, and then just finish your opponent with that Play for Souls combo. Let's go for it. I'm not even sure how that one worked in terms of science, but I really do like how they go the extra little animation style to kind of put that head in the backpack. Obviously fits his theme. Nicely done. Next up, we have the Slice, Slice, Slice brutality. And for this one in particular, you will need the demonic clutch ability in your arsenal, so as usual, have that good to go. As for the criteria, you're going to want to make sure that you have more than 50% of your HP remaining before attempting this one. Once that's good to go, grab your opponent with that demonic clutch while holding forward, and that should do it. So our demonic clutch is going to be down, back, forward A, or down, back, forward X, and it should look just like that. So remember, folks, have more than 50% of your HP remaining before attempting this brutality. As you can see up here, this little hump above the notch here is usually a good way to see where the 50% mark is if you're not entirely sure. Beyond that, remember, use the demonic clutch to grab your opponent while holding forward. Damn. I mean, this one isn't too wild, but it is kind of cool how he's able to just kind of use his weapon to impale the head as it's falling off into the torso. So, what can I say? Points for style there. Our next brutality is called Should Have Paid. For this one in particular, all you got to do is make sure to finish your opponent with a back throw while mashing either X and Y or square and triangle. A back throw by itself, L1 or left button, boom, no directions required. You should always get a back throw. Same goes for those who like arcade style inputs, square and X or X and A at the same time with no directions, and you still should get your back throw. A tiny tip I always offer with these mashing related brutalities. Personally, I like to take my pointer and middle fingers, place them on these buttons like so, and boom, beat them like that. Some people just prefer to use their thumb, but if that's not quick enough for you, That's what I suggest. So remember folks, finish your opponent with a back throw while mashing X and Y or square and triangle. Let's go for it. Oh. Sweet and simple. Next up we have the split decision brutality. Now for this one you do want to make sure that you get the first hit in the match, otherwise you unfortunately will not be able to perform it. Should you manage to do that though, all you got to do is finish your opponent with the price to pay combo while holding either X or square on your respective controller. Again folks, make sure you get that first hit, and just to confirm, boom, there's our first hit props. So for the price to pay combo, that's going to be XAX or square X square, and it should look, boom, just like that. So remember folks, you want to get the first hit in the match and then simply finish your opponent with that price to pay combo while holding X or square on your respective controller. Let's go for it. Whoa. Right down the middle. Nothing too special, nothing too crazy. We've seen, you know, slices like this with weapons. It's cool all the same. It's nice to have, I suppose. Next is the unarmed brutality. Now for this one in particular, you have to make sure that you do not land a fatal blow at any point throughout the match. If you don't remember, the fatal blow is that highly animated move you activate with the back triggers. Do not use that if you want to perform this brutality. Next up, you want to make sure that when you do go for this brutality, you have more than 40% of your HP remaining. And then last, but certainly not least, you want to finish your opponent with the debt is paid combo. So for the debt is paid combo, that's going to be forward X, Y, and then down Y, or forward square, triangle, and then down triangle. And it should look, oof, just like that. So remember folks, you need to have more than 40% of your HP remaining if you're going to go for this brutality. Boom, that little notch in the health bar right there is a great way to gauge it at a glance. Beyond that, make sure you have not used your fatal blow. Devora obviously has hers ready to go over here if you need a quick reminder as to what that looks like. Do not use it as a player. And last but certainly not least, make sure the debt is paid combo is the way you finish your opponent. Let's go for it. So this is kind of almost a little opposite to the last brutality we just did, where it cuts them down the middle, and this one just slices the arms off. Again, very simple, nothing crazy, but it is always cool to have combos that kind of just transition into brutality, so I can dig it. Next up we have the smashing brutality. Now for this one you will require the up demonic mace, so of course do have that good to go, and we can proceed. Now the criteria for this one ask that you are not too close to the opponent when performing the brutality. As for where you actually have to stand, that can be a little confusing, so I'll just give you an example in a moment. Beyond that, you want to make sure you finish your opponent with the up demonic mace and also hold up on the controller. So the up demonic mace is going to be down back Y or down back triangle, and it should look just like that, a clunk right to the head. Now again, they don't want you to perform this one too close to the opponent, so how I like to try and gauge it is I'll do one backdash away from the opponent and then step back just another little foot there, and from there you should still be able to, boom, whack them in the head. So remember folks, you don't want to be too close to the opponent when you go to perform this brutality. You have to finish them with that up demonic mace and hold up on the controller while you do so. For the final hit itself, you can charge it if you desire. I'm going to go for it. And remember, hold up. That's all there is to this one, folks. I think the biggest struggle people might have is just getting that distance in terms of where you have to stand. But remember, it seems one backdash away and then one extra little step should get you where you got to be. So our last brutality for today, folks, is called Tied Up. For this one in particular, all you have to do is finish your opponent with the damned bola while holding backwards. Now the damned bola should be back forward B or back forward circle, and of course it'll look like that right there. Now something important to note with this particular brutality, when we throw that mace, as you can see, when it hits the opponent, boom, and then boom. It's very quick and very brief, but that is actually a 2-hit combo. We need to finish the opponent with that first hit, not the second hit with a flame start. So again, pay attention and you'll see, boom, it's a 2-hit combo for 74 damage, and you need to kill the opponent with the first hit for the brutality to work. So that's all there is to this one, folks. You simply want to finish your opponent with that damned bola while holding backwards and ensure that they die from the impact and not from the flames that ignite afterwards. Let's go for it. Holding backwards. love this one. I mean, it's so weird, to be honest. I feel like they could have gone so many different directions with this one, and this one works, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know what I would have wanted to see. Maybe the chains just get tighter and tighter and kind of squeeze them into different pieces or something like that. That just seems more creative than having them just explode and erupt altogether, but that's just me. As a whole, I know this is a popular move that people like to use, so having a Brutality attached to it is actually a really cool thing now. So that's going to wrap it up for today, folks. Hopefully you enjoyed the Kollector finally getting his spotlight. I know I enjoy him as a new character to the roster. He's very cool, very brutal, very harsh. You can tell he has a personality that is definitely well fit in the Mortal Kombat universe. If you guys did enjoy this video, feel free to let me know down below. I very much appreciate the feedback and the viewership. If you want to see more content like this in the future, feel free to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can find out exactly when more content like this goes live. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've been enjoying the content lately. We do have some more cool characters planned, such as Raiden, Geras, Melina, some really awesome choices coming down the line. I know I've been putting out polls to let you guys vote, so make sure to pay attention to those if you want to kind of have a say and who's potentially coming next. But until then, thank you guys so much for watching. Really do appreciate it, and hopefully I will catch you on the next video. Until then, stay safe and stay happy. Adios all.